A calculated column is a new column in a table that is the result of a combination of values based on one or more columns of the same table. In a multisource-enabled data foundation, the SQL syntax used by a calculated column can be either source-independent, expressed in ANSI 92 SQL syntax, or database-specific. In this tutorial, you will create calculated columns in a multisource-enabled data foundation. Note that this tutorial was recorded using SAP Business Objects Information Design Tool 4.0, version 14.0.0, v 2010-1019-0760. To navigate, use the viewer controls or follow the on-screen instructions, if available. Create a new calculated column in the data foundation. Right-click the customer table. Select Insert Calculated Column. Click in the name text box. Specify the name for the column and define the expression as a concatenation of string values, using source-independent SQL syntax. The standard syntax is ANSI 92 compliant. It is understood directly by the data federator query server, and translated in the dedicated syntax of target RDBMS engines. Database-specific operators and functions cannot be used. Type full name, and then double-click the first name column. Click in the Select text box. Type plus, single quote, space, single quote, plus, and then double-click the last name column. Click Validate. Click Close. The new calculated column appears in the customer table. Now view the column values. Right-click the full name column. Select Show Column Values. The full customer name values are shown. View the generated SQL statement. Click the toggle button to swap the panes. The generated SQL uses source-independent ANSI 92 SQL syntax. Close the tab and return to the Data Foundation view. Click Close. Modify the calculated column. Right-click the full name column. Select Edit Calculated Column. Modify the calculated column to use database-specific SQL. Select the Use Database-specific SQL checkbox. A warning message appears to inform you that you may need to alter the SQL syntax in order for it to comply with the SQL operators and functions of the RDBMS used. The customer table comes from an Oracle database, and plus signs will need to be replaced by pipes to comply with the database-specific syntax. Click Yes. Press Delete. Type first name, double pipe, single quote, space, single quote, double pipe, last name, and then click Validate. Click Close. Click OK. Create a new calculated column in a table from the SQL Server data source. Right-click the Invoice Date column. Note that a calculated column for a date value is referred to in the product as a time column. Click Insert Time column. Select Year. Modify the calculated column. Right-click the Year Invoice Date column. Select Edit Calculated column. The Year column uses source-independent ANSI 92 SQL syntax. Modify the calculated column to use database-specific SQL. Select the Use Database-specific SQL checkbox. Click Yes. Press Delete. Type date name, YYYY, invoice date, and then click Validate. Click Close. Click OK. View the values of the modified calculated columns. Press Ctrl and select the invoice date column. Press Ctrl and select the full name column. Right-click the selected columns. Select Show Column Values. The full customer name, invoice date, and year invoice date values are displayed. View the generated SQL expression. Click the toggle button to swap the panes. The generated SQL uses two different database-specific SQL syntaxes, one for Oracle and one for SQL Server. The database-specific SQL can be identified by the keywords, native expression. This clause is sent directly to the RDBMS engine, without intermediate transformation from the Data Federator query server. Close the tab and return to the Data Foundation view. Click Close. Click Save. You have successfully created calculated columns in a multi-source enabled data foundation. This is the end of the tutorial.